Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizziefaye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth. I've got a book haul for you. This is going to include books that I have picked up over the last several months. I think mostly from the first quarter of the year, so that's probably what I'll title this video is First Quarter Book Haul. However, I did pick up several books in December at the liquidation store where I was working. The bookstore where I work is a used bookstore, but they had a special pop-up liquidation store for a couple of months, and I worked there, and I found some really interesting books while I was working. But anyway, I filmed most of this book haul in early March. I just kept neglecting to get it edited. So meanwhile, I've bought a few more books, which I will show you at the end of this video. And if I remember anything else that I neglect to show you in that clip, I will probably just lay them on my dining table and show them to you, and I'll insert them somewhere wherever it's appropriate. So anyway, let me go now to the footage that I filmed in early March, and then I'll be back at the end to show you what I have gotten more recently. Hello, BookTube. Hello, friends. Welcome to Lizziefaye Loves Books. I'm Elizabeth. I've got a book haul for you today. Now, I'm not sure how long it's been since I've actually uploaded a book haul, but books are coming in and going out of my house on an almost daily basis. Y'all know I work at a used bookstore, so I have picked up a few there lately on purpose. They have also started giving me the discards since we don't have a scratch and dent store anymore. Sometimes people will bring in a whole load of books and they don't want to take anything home, and if it's stuff that can't go into the store, then I volunteered to take it and either donate it, keep it, read it, resell it. They don't care what I do with it. It just keeps it out of storage and or the landfill. So I have picked up several interesting things there, and I think that's where some of these things came from. I also go to library sales, and when I see things that look interesting, I pick them up. Now, I have currently probably 1,400 books at least in my living room right now that I'm working on listing, and most of those came from our liquidation store, which we closed the first week of January. So that's how long they've been in my living room. But I've been working steadily on getting those listed and photographed and everything, and I've already sold some, and I'm sending some to some BookTube friends and other people, so I'm gradually working my way through that pile. But I thought I would just take a minute to show you some of the more interesting things that I brought home, and I also got some book mail. My friend Sonia from the channel Sonia with an I is such a sweet friend, and she sent me not just a box of books, but an extra package of books that are wrapped. So I haven't even unwrapped those. I did open the box because she had shown me basically what she was going to send, asked me if it was anything that I wanted, and the majority of what's in the box are Star Wars books for kids, like the middle grade age Star Wars books, and I don't have that many of those, so I am super excited about that. Anyway, first though, I want to show you two books that I purchased online. I rarely ever do this, but when we were doing the Little House Readathon in early February, I had really wanted to read Farmer Boy Goes West, and I could not get it anywhere, not even on Open Library in the archives. So I just broke down and did a search, and the best price for it was on Better World Books. And when I opened my account, they said, oh, you can get like 15% off if you buy 2 books. So I thought, well, let's see what else that they might have that I want that I'm having trouble finding. And so what I ended up ordering was A Fortunate Grandchild by Miss Reed. And I am super excited about this. These are so hard to find. In fact, I think Mitzi from Mitzi Reads and Writes got one of these for Valentine's Day. She got some books from her husband the first 14 days of February, and I'm pretty sure that this is one of the ones that she got. So I'm excited to read this, and I think this is maybe autobiographical. Well, I'm not absolutely sure. I've read a little bit about it, but this is not from one of her series or anything. So these were books that I ordered online, which I almost never do. Now, speaking of the Little House Readathon, I picked up a couple of other books on my ventures out in the world that have something to do with the prairie. Not Laura Ingalls Wilder related, but just made me mindful of Laura Ingalls Wilder. This one is called Prairie Songs by Pam Conrad, and I think this is a middle grade book. I thought maybe it would be poems, but it looks like it's just a fiction book. But I'm, looking forward to digging into that. And then I did recognize this author. This is called Beyond the Divide by Catherine Lasky. Now, Catherine Lasky is known for her Guardians of Ga'Hoole series, which I devoured. Back when Katie was in elementary and middle school, I read those books and loved them. So I am excited to read something else by this author. And this one looks very much like a pioneer type story. Those were both kind of vintagey looking books, and I do have a whole stack of vintage books here. Some that I've gotten free, some that I've picked up at book sales. I don't know where I got each specific book. But this one just reminds me of Mitzi. Now, I think I've heard of this author. Mitzi, if you're watching this, have you ever read this book, Understood Betsy? Doesn't that look cute? This just looks like a Mitzi book. So, Mitzi, this may be coming your way, but I might read it first. I don't know. This is an author that I read in high school, and her name came up in one of the Killing Time with Cozy's live streams a few weeks ago. I think Kim Nelson mentioned her. Kim, if you're watching this, have you read this one? Class Ring by Rosamond Dujardin. I have a couple of her books that my high school librarian gave me because I was the main one checking them out, and they were getting pretty dog-eared. This one is also a library copy, I believe, and I don't think I've read this one, so I was excited to get it. And then this one I have actually sold on eBay. I had a little paperback set of this book and a sequel to it, and then some other similar looking book that sold within a few days of me listing them. And that made me think, oh, if I ever see that book again, maybe I need to take a second look. The book is Big Red, and it is by this author right here. I'm not sure. I have a feeling some of those letters are probably silent, but I don't know which ones, so I'll just let you see that. Anyway, I think I asked my husband if he had ever heard of these books. He may have even read them as a kid, but that looks fun. And then this one, I believe, is also a middle grade book, Over the Hills and Far Away by Lavinia Russ. I think this is a Weekly Reader book. Yes, it is. Weekly Reader Children's Book Club. Do they still have Weekly Reader? I mean, I would eat those up when I was a kid. And then this one I didn't even know existed. It's by L. Frank Baum, called Mother Goose in Prose. And that looks interesting. It is illustrated by Maxfield Parrish. So let's see what some of the illustrations look like. Fun. And then this was in a recent bag of discards or free things that somebody brought into the bookstore. And I looked at this and I saw this title and I thought, what in the world? But it's a mystery. It is a Mario Balzac mystery by K.C. Constantine, The Man Who Liked Slow Tomatoes. Now, I love a good title and an intriguing title, and that one grabbed me. It's very little, very short. That just looks fun. And then a couple of other vintagey kind of books. I think I got this one at my local library sale. The Old Man at the Railroad Crossing and Other Tales by William Maxwell. Look at that cover. That is really neat. Actually, I think I got that one at a library sale that's almost an hour away from me, now that I'm thinking about it. And I think I got the next two there as well. Reminiscing the Good Old Days, written by Rayburn Casey Hall. This one's not all that vintage, but it sounds like there's going to be some vintage stories, so that sounds fun. And then this one is called Mountain Lake Almanac, Around the Year with a Naturalist by Ken Morrison. So that looks interesting. And there's old Ken right there. All right, I've got a couple of nonfiction books here. This was given to me by one of the ladies at my library book club. She got this somewhere and she said, oh, I thought of you and wondered if you wanted this. And I said, absolutely. This is called The Women of the Bible Speak by Shannon Bream. The Wisdom of 16 Women and Their Lessons for Today. And then this one is called Overcoming Procrastination. That is one of the big challenges of my life. This one is by Neil Fiore, PhD, Practice the Now Habit and Guilt-Free Play. And it says it was previously published as The Now Habit. So they've retitled it and put it out again. And then this is a book about words. I have several books like this, and I've only read a couple of them, but these always look interesting to me. This one is called The Dord, the Diglet, and an Avocado or Two: The Hidden Lives and Strange Origins of Common and Not So Common Words by Anu Garg, creator of A Word a Day website. So that looks interesting. All right, almost done. I have a little short stack of romances and a short stack of mysteries. So these 3 mysteries I purchased at the used bookstore. These were on the shelf, and I decided to go ahead and buy them. Now, I did have some store credit that I used to purchase them with, but these were not given to me. I had to use store credit for these. This is one of the Missouri Star Quilt Mysteries by Hilary Doan Sperry, called The Haunting of Quilter's Square. Now, my sister gave me one from the series called something like The Murder in Redwork or something like that, and I thought that was book 1, and so I figured this was book 2. I just looked this up. This is not even on Goodreads, so it must be book 3, because the Redwork book is number 2, and I've never seen the first one. So anyway, I'm going to guess that this is book 3. And then I also picked up one of the tea shop books that I did not have. This is Broken Bone China by Laura Childs. I'm not sure what number this is. And then this hardcover book is kind of like Naked Came the Manatee, which is up here. It's a book where there's several mystery authors, and one writes the first chapter and hands it off to the next author, and they write the next chapter, then they hand it off and they write the next chapter, and so on. And it just sounds super fun. It says 1 heart-stopping story, 20 best-selling writers. Some of the ones I recognize: C.J. Box, Mary Higgins Clark, John Connolly, Heather Graham, Charlene Harris, and the introduction is by Lee Child. So yeah, it's called Inherit the Dead, and it just sounds really entertaining. And then I've got a short stack of romances here. Last night, as it happens, I was working on listing my love-inspired suspense books. I had some duplicates of the canine romances and others that I was not planning to read. And as I was typing up the descriptions and everything, this one caught my eye. And I thought, you know what? I think I'm going to read that. This one is called Rocky Mountain Revenge by Rhonda Starnes. And it is about a girl who has temporarily come home to help in her family's vet clinic, and someone is out to kill her. So there's going to be a romance in here. There's going to be a faith element. And I just decided that this looked interesting enough to hang on to it for a little bit. I did look it up, and it is on audio. So I'm going to be able to listen to it, and then I can probably still let it go. But for now, I'm hanging on to the book until I get a chance to listen to it. Now, the next 2 books came in the big haul that I purchased when the liquidation store was closing. And I've been going through all those books, you know, an author at a time. And this one caught my eye, and I think I had 2 copies of it. And I just thought that I would hang on to it. I've never heard of this author, but I don't think it's necessarily set at Christmas time, but it is set in winter time. And, you know, sometimes it's good to have a wintertime book to read in January. You know, that's not necessarily Christmassy, but this is called Home by Starlight by Jerry Corgiet, I think is how you would say that name. And anyway, it just looks really nice and cozy. And I just decided to hang on to this and give it a try. Fiona, if this looks good to you, maybe you can get a hold of a copy of this by December, and we could buddy read this one for next December. One of the authors that I picked up quite a few by is Heather Graham. I picked these up mainly because I wanted to send some to Storm from Storm Reads, because she's been trying to collect some of the older vintage Heather Graham books. And I decided to keep this one for myself because this is book 1 in a series, and Storm already had this one, and I had another copy of it to put in my lot that I'm listing. And so I didn't have anything else to do with this one, and I thought I would just hang on to it. This is called One War Blue by Heather Graham, and it is the first in a Civil War series. And so I thought I would hang on to this one and give it a try. Now, this one I think I got free, and this just looks fascinating. I didn't know these existed. Sarah, if you're watching this, this might be something that you would get a kick out of. This is called Strasbourg's Romance Catalog, Harlequin Romance Series. This is basically a catalog that tells you all of the books that were published by the time that this book was published. Everything that had been out so far, that had been published by Harlequin, in the following lines: Harlequin Presents, Harlequin Omnibus, Golden Harlequin Library, Harlequin Collection, Harlequin Magazines, Candlelight Romance Series, and Rainbow Romance Series. And then also we have authors like Grace Livingston Hill, Barbara Cartland, Georgette Hare, Emily Loring, Nora Lofts, Lucy Walker, and Fiona Hill. And so there are lists of all the books that had been published up to this point. And then at the end of each section, there are blank lines so that as new books come out, you could write them in. I don't know when this was published. Let me look. But this just looks awesome. And, you know, I have tried to search and find the old titles of Harlequin books, and it's hard to find. This one was published in 1979. The first printing was 1977, and this second revised edition was published in September of 1979. So I just think this is the coolest thing ever. It is written in. Whoever owned this at one point did check off some of the books that they had read or that they owned, and I just think this is so cool. I was about to think that was everything, but I have to show you what Sonia sent me. Before I do that, though, I have a few Star Wars books that I purchased at a bookstore up north of Orlando when we were up there for a Color Guard event. I think these are the 4 that I got there. I have this Star Wars Adventures in Hyperspace. This one is called Fire Ring Race. It apparently is part of a series, and I have not seen any of these before, but I knew I didn't have that one. This one I was pretty sure I didn't have. This is Jedi Apprentice, The Fight for Truth. This is number 9 in the Jedi Apprentice series. And then two adult books. This was the only one I still needed for this trilogy. This is Rebel Dawn by A.C. Crispin. This is the book 3 in the second Han Solo trilogy. Now, I own the first Han Solo trilogy, which is by Brian Daley, and I've read those. But this one was written in 1998. I already had the first 2. I think they did have one of the others, and thankfully I had documented which ones I had, so I didn't pick up the same one twice. And then this is book 1 of the Bounty Hunter Wars, called The Mandalorian Armor by K.W. Jeter. I don't know if I have any others in this series or not, but I was pretty sure I didn't have this one. All right, so I've already unwrapped this. This is the box that Sonia sent me, and then she sent me a bubble mailer with some wrapped books. So I wanted to save these and open these on camera with you, but first let me show you what's in the box. Now, there are mostly Star Wars books in here, but there's a couple of things that are not. This one she showed in one of her hauls, and I said, oh, my daughter's middle name is Jane, and she's going to be a doctor. She's going to be a veterinarian. Wouldn't this be fun to give her, you know, after her graduation from vet school? And so she sent me this one, Dr. Jane by Adeline McElfresh. And that just looks awesome. And is it Dr. Jane? Very serious. And then she was real sweet to send these. I do have these in paperback, but how fun to have these in hardcover. 2 of the James Herriot books, All Things Wise and Wonderful, and All Creatures Great and Small. And the rest of this box are Star Wars books. This is the Star Wars Cookbook number 2. I already have Cookbook number 1, so yay, now I have Cookbook number 2. So I did go through these already, and I put them, I grouped them by series. I don't know for sure what number each book is, but I'll just show them to you in their groups. So I have several here from the Clone Wars series. We have Warriors of the Deep. I think some of these series are by one author and some are by multiple authors. This one is not real obvious. This series is written by multiple authors. So we have Bounty Hunter Boba Fett. We have Duel at Shattered Rock. Defenders of the Republic. And these are library copies. I'm going to probably go through one day when I'm watching TV or something and remove the library stickers and just try to clean them up a little bit. But this is a treasure trove. It really is. We have Guardians of the Chess Key. And then these next three are from the Jedi Apprentice series. These are by Jude Watson. We have The Threat Within, The Shattered Piece. I think I do already have this one. And then The Only Witness. And then here's another copy of The Only Witness. This is also by Jude Watson from the Jedi Apprentice series. The next two are from the Rebel Force series. We have Hostage and Target. I think I have Target, but I may not. I'm not sure. And then the next three are from the Last of the Jedi series by Jude Watson. We have number 6, Return of the Dark Side. Number 7, Secret Weapon. Number 8, Against the Empire. And then number 2 from the Last of the Jedi series, which is called Dark Warning. We have 3 from the Jedi Quest series. I may have this one already. I think this is number 2. Yes, The Trail of the Jedi. And then I may have this one too. This is number 1, The Way of the Apprentice. And then The Dangerous Games. And these last 3 are also by Jude Watson. And then the last 2, I'm not sure what the name of the series is, but they are by Paul Davids and Hollis Davids. We have Prophets of the Dark Side and Mission from Mount Yoda. Okay, so now I am very excited to open up my wrapped packages from Sonia, and she put these cute little stickers. This reminds me of the little guy from Zootopia, or the tall guy from Zootopia, you know, the yoga instructor. This one says, "May the Force be with you." So I'm going to guess that there are some more Star Wars books in here. Ooh, yeah, I don't think I have this one. Riptide by Paul S. Kemp. And this is a beautiful copy. Sonia, did you buy this new? This is brand new. Wow. And this has got a little squirrel. It says, "Enjoy." The Force Unleashed. I don't think I have this one either. I've seen this one, but I don't have it. Nice. Oh, it says number 2. The Force Unleashed number 2. Okay. Awesome. He looks serious. This one's wrapped in a Trader Joe's bag. Look at that. And we've got another little squirrel. It says, "Found these. I couldn't resist." Well, thank you. I know Sonia loves her squirrels. Her yard rats. I think that's what she calls them. Ooh, wow. This is amazing because I don't think I have any of these. This is Star Wars, The Old Republic. I think that's the series. And then the book is Fatal Alliance by Sean Williams. And this is in such beautiful condition. Wow, these are new. Wow. And then this one is a hardcover. This one says, "If you have this one, you know the drill." LOL. Yeah, because we've always talked about how, you know, if we already have it, just sell it, give it away, do whatever, you know, don't feel like you have to keep it. But I don't know. I don't know if I have this one or not. Unless it's, you know, Miriam Birnbaum, Barbarian Swordsperson. Ooh, I don't have this one. I have seen it, and I don't have it. This is one of the newer ones from the High Republic era. And this is Escape from Valo by Danielle Jose Older and Alyssa Wong. So this is a middle grade, Star Wars middle grade book. Nice. Oh, beautiful too. Thank you so much. Wow, this is amazing. Just these right here, I'm almost positive I don't have any of these. So that's amazing. I'm going to have to clear out. I have a whole shelf of like self-help books and organizing books that decluttering books that I hoard. They're right under my 2 shelves of Star Wars books. I'm probably going to have to, clear that away and pack those up or let some of those go so that I can have a whole other shelf for my Star Wars books. Anyway, yay. Thank you so much, Sonia. This is fantastic. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope that you found something in this video that was interesting to you. Let me know if you have heard of any of those vintage books and if any of those look fun. I am more than happy to read them and pass them along whenever I'm done. So let me know if there's any that interest you. So okay, so now I'm back. Now it is early April, and I've been finally editing this video, and I wanted to show you a few more books that I have picked up in the meantime. Now, I mentioned getting books at the liquidation store where I worked in November and December, and I've been working on listing those. I sorted them out by author, and I have sorted some out to send to people, and I've sorted some out and put them into lots for listing. So one lot I made up was of books that were just kind of random Western romances. And this is a book I found in that lot, and I thought, wait a second. This is from a series that I believe is a spin-off series of a series I've read before, and I need to keep this one. Some of you may remember several years ago, I did a buddy read of a series called Welcome to Tyler with my friend Mandy Garrett from the channel The Night Owl. And we spent a few years like reading, 2 or 3 a year until we got that whole series read. That was an old Harlequin series that had been published in the 90s. Well, I did not know that there is a Return to Tyler series, and I think it may be a prequel series to to Welcome to Tyler, but it was written after. So I found this, and it says Return to Tyler. Now, it says Western, which is why I ended up sticking it originally in that Western lot, but I ended up keeping it myself because now I need to collect this whole series and read them. And I messaged Mandy and I said, hey, there's a Return to Tyler series that I didn't even know about. Did you? And I don't think she knew about it either. So anyway, this one I think is like number 9, but it's called Nighthawk's Bride. It's by Jillian Hart. And now I'm on the hunt for the rest of the series. So I'm excited. I probably will not read this one because it's number 9, and I will, of course, want to start with number 1. I've already looked on eBay to see, and there are not a lot of these on eBay either, but I don't know. We'll see how hard they are to find out in the wild, and eventually, if I need to, I will, try to complete my collection online. But anyway, I found this one for now, and I was super excited about it. So in the month of March, I listened to almost an entire love-inspired canine romantic suspense series, and so then I went through and sorted through my boxes to see, which ones I was still missing and which ones I had and which ones I had duplicates of and all of that. So I've updated my list and everything. And I was at a library not in my county earlier, a couple of weeks ago, and they had several of these canine romances there, and this is one that I did not have. Now, I've listened to the Rocky Mountain Canine Unit series on audio. It is one of the more recent ones. I think this might be the 2023 series. No, this is the 2022 series. Anyway, I did not set out to collect these because I've already listened to them, but I think I paid $25 for this. So, I'm just going to put it with my other canine books because eventually I want to do a video talking about all the different canine series. Now, I had not even realized that there was a new canine romance series out in 2024. It's in these larger sized Harlequin books. It's in these newer, larger size books, which I'm not necessarily a fan of, but I did find these at the bookstore where I work. The other day, I was putting up and restocking Christian fiction, and I saw these, and I thought, ooh, I don't have these. So this 2024 series is called the Mountain Country Canine Unit series, and one of these is book 1, and one of them is book 2. I'm not sure which is which. This one is Her Duty Bound Defender by Sherry Stover. That's not showing up very well. And then this one is Baby Protection Mission by Laura Scott. At the same library where I picked this one up, I also picked this one up for 50 cents. Now, you've seen earlier in the video that my friend Sonia sent me a couple of hardcover James Herriot books, and I thought, well, I've got those two now. I need to collect the rest of them in hardcover, right? So I found this one called Every Living Thing, and I don't even think I have this one in paperback. Or maybe this one is a bind-up of two separate stories. I'm not sure. I haven't looked it up. But I didn't have it, at least not in this format. So for 50 cents, I decided I would go ahead and pick it up. And then the last two are from the bookstore where I work. I am always looking for a good Star Wars book, and this one is so neat. This is like an encyclopedia type book. It's got a list of all the characters and I think places and things and anything you might want to know about Star Wars. It's called A Guide to the Star Wars Universe, and it is by Bill Slavichek, maybe? Hopefully. Anyway, I'm excited to have it. This will be a great reference book to have as I continue to read Star Wars books. And then I did buy this one on April the 1st, April Fool's Day. I know I said this is going to be a first quarter book haul. I'm going to go ahead and show it to you anyway, because by the time we get to the end of June, midsummer, if I, put together all of the books I get for second quarter, I may have forgotten that I got this one already. So I was super excited to find this. They post on Instagram just about every day, the bookstore where I work. And because I don't work every day, I don't always see everything as it comes in. So I do usually check out the Facebook post and see what new things have come in each day. And someone brought in this whole series, which is the Peter and the Starcatcher series. And I think this is the only one that was in hardcover. And I already own the first 4 of these in hardcover. I have been looking for this last and final 5th book in this series for quite some time. This is Bridge to Neverland by Dave Barry and Ridley Pearson. I love the series. It is a Peter Pan origin story, and then it goes on from there, and I think it is fantastic. If you have not read it, then definitely pick up Peter and the Starcatchers. Now, Sonia, who sent me the books that I opened earlier, she recently read the original Peter Pan story and didn't love it, and I have not yet read that story. I still want to. I know that she said it's dated and there's some problems in it and everything, but the Peter and the Starcatcher story, I think, is just fantastic. I absolutely love it. So if you have a chance to listen to it, I'm pretty sure that it is narrated by Jim Dale, who narrated the Harry Potter series. So, that's fantastic. Anyway, I found this 5th book. I would love to read these in print now that I own all 5 of them. I don't know when that'll be. I've got plenty of books to read in print. But anyway, now I own the whole series and I'm super excited about it. So I think that is everything that I've picked up in the last few months that I feel the need to share with you. So anyway, let me know in the comments if any of these books interest you, if you own any of them, or if you'd like to find any of them for yourself. And if you do, then maybe we can buddy read one. So that's all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a great day. Read a good book, and God bless you.